As you sit among the buzz and conversation of the AIE conference, here's a look at the heart and purpose behind this year's event. In the words of Thokozile Mahlangu, CEO of the IISA, who sat down with FAnews a month ahead of the conference to share the why, the hopes, and the bigger vision shaping what will happen at the AIE conference. Welcome to Thokozile. It's always great to chat to you.
Thank you, Rianet, and thank you for having me once more. Looking forward to the conversation.
Yes, so Thokozile, what were the big guiding thoughts or goals you had when shaping this year's AIE?
So we asked ourselves, Rianet, on how can we truly serve the industry at a time when it is evolving at a breakneck speed? And that's where we looked at the baobab advantage. We then looked at the characteristics of the baobab tree. We looked at its nature, how it survives, and that's how we then stretched the theme further to say the baobab advantage is really aligned to the insurance industry, and we included the multifaceted nature and the continuous evolution. As you may be aware, the baobab tree continuously evolves itself. It continuously grows in multifaceted approaches. So we thought that is really aligned with how the industry has been evolving and growing in the ever-changing environment. You really can't quite keep up with what's happening in the insurance industry, both locally in the continent and globally. And we looked at our goal doesn't only have to be reflecting on the trends, but catalyzing those trends and making sure that delegates walk away from the conference not just empowered to lead in a rapidly changing environment, but also to have tangible solutions that they can go and apply immediately as they get back into their businesses.
I love that analogy, Thokozile. It's tough organizing a conference like that. I mean, it's huge. It's probably the biggest in Africa in insurance. Am I right?
One of the biggest.
Okay, one of the biggest. So, and every year you want to make it bigger and better, right? So what were some of the tough calls and brave choices that the organizing team had to make this year?
You are right. Organizing an event of this size is really challenging, and keeping it fresh, attractive and appealing to delegates, and meeting over 1,000 delegates' interest is one of the biggest challenges. So what we did, we deliberately shifted from the generic panels to curated conversations that go deeper, featuring leaders who are not afraid to be bold. So we took that into account. We also reimagined the lineup of speakers. We invited speakers from, yes, locally in South Africa, in the continent and globally. And you may have seen on the lineup that there may be familiar faces from the local insurance industry. There are also faces from the industry in the continent as well as globally. And we also looked at non-industry speakers to bring that different element. We looked at tech disruptors. We looked at visionary leaders. We looked at even an ever-evolving current matters, the geopolitical strains that we currently are facing. We looked at the impact of the GNU. So we had to look at bringing what's happening currently in the environment, aligning it to the theme, and making sure that we have a blend of speakers from all over the world, so that the knowledge we're going to gain there is rich enough. Yes, it was a tough decision to also reintroduce the breakaway sessions. So we're going to have the panel discussions happening in the breakaway sessions, but we'll also have the plenary, both of them running concurrently. Yes, it gives people an opportunity to then look at what am I more aligned to from a content perspective. And we also looked at bringing a bit of a young blood into the program. And yes, of course, the top three of the insurance apprentice from last year will be part of the theme. But we went a step further and we invited 4 young bright minds students who are in their final stages of their BCom in insurance and risk management at Wits, and they're going to be part of the program. And that's a way we are repositioning the conference and trying to bring freshness to it.
I really like what I hear, and I'm really looking forward to that. You are really giving people options and choices on what to go and listen and what to look at, and looking at the relevant stuff. It's very, very exciting. So it seems like it's going to be a really, really good conference, Thokozile. So looking back at some of the past conferences, what for you has been the most meaningful change or evolutions you've seen over the years?
You know, there is a few, but I'll pick one. The level of cross-sector collaboration has skyrocketed. We are no longer just talking to ourselves within the insurance industry. AIE has become a hub where underwriters come to talk to fintech founders, where actuaries engage with underwriters, claims experts, and where compliance officers exchange ideas with tech entrepreneurs, where you have regulators sharing insights and also learning from different players in the industry. So the ecosystem is what sets the AIE apart and keeps getting stronger and stronger. So it has become really that ecosystem where cross-sectoral collaboration and relations have become critical in learning and growing the AIE insights that we bring to the industry.
That's great to hear. So, we learn lessons, good and bad lessons every year, right? What lessons from the past, the good ones, are you deliberately building on this year?
Delegates crave for connection.
Yes.
Especially after COVID. I think we're all so much in need of getting back together. And this digital life of meeting as we are meeting today has become normal. So that need for connection keeps growing. And not just for the content. There's that need for the content to grow richer and richer. So what we're doing this year is also to build platforms for networking. We've intentionally reduced the session times by an hour or so, finishing slightly earlier, so that delegates have got the time to have those business engagements between the last session and before the evening events. So we're really building that structured approach of business engagements, meetings, and yes, networking. And it's not just in the cocktail hours or the networking sessions. During those times, we've noted that people also create meaningful relations, long-lasting relations that continue into the businesses after the conference. We're making it also easier for people to register and customize their experience by choosing the different sessions that they would like to have. So we've accepted that conference serves a couple of needs, and those needs are always summarized them to about 4. One, it's the rich content, the thought leadership that we bring, insights that we bring to the industry. And those insights don't only end up at the conference. They carry on into conversations post-conference. They become solutions that the attendees of conference go back into the businesses and share with their colleagues, and they design solutions from that. So there's the content element. There is the element of business engagement. It's an opportunity, as I always say, where one is able to have meetings that would ordinarily take 6 to 8 months to secure, but within the 3 days at conference, you are able to have those meetings at the golf course. You're able to have those meetings in between the sessions during tea breaks. You are able to have those meetings during the evening functions as well. So it's a platform really that we're growing. The third one is an opportunity for the young upcoming professionals to engage with captains in the industry. It's not many times that one has the opportunity to meet up with the captains at the industry, and AIE brings that, and that's something else that we are also maximizing. And then, of course, there is the pure social element that other people just go to the conference for. And as I said, it's social, but it's also where relationships are developed, nurtured, and enhanced. And as we know, business is about relationships. So we are maximizing those 4 components of the conference in making sure that we still give that AIE experience that delegates have had and would still want to retain. And we take the feedback that we get from delegates on the on-site survey as well as post the conference survey.
What I really like to hear and love to hear from you is the fact that you really accommodate everyone. It's not just about conference and topics. Yes, that is important. But I think you have encapsulated it so nice, the importance of that networking and the social element, which inevitably leads to the business conversations. But you are really recognizing that. And for me, that is very positive because, yes, a lot of people do go there for networking, more than necessarily for the content. And you really look after everyone's need and making more time for that networking, which is phenomenal. It's really, really great to hear. Networking is so key. And I think some people have all made the comment about why don't we move this conference to Sandton. But I think what you have said there really also touch on that element because people will go home. People will go back to their families and in between do their work. Where they are there. They are at Sun City. They cannot go back quickly to their office, get stuck at the office in a meeting and not engage and use that social networking time for that. So I think this is brilliant. Well done.
You know, we actually did a survey, not last year, the year before.
I remember.
And we asked delegates if they would consider that we move the conference to Sandton. We also included every year on the survey, and there is probably 0.01% that would like to come to Sandton. So preference is still Sun City, and because of how it keeps all of us in one place, keeping all of us together. Yeah,
it was very recently that someone mentioned that to me, and that's why I thought I'll bring it in because I think it's so relevant. Because people want it in Sun City, and let's not forget the golf, and now this year also the paddle that we've introduced, right?
So yes, that is cool. Yes. I hope you registered for at least one of them.
Yes, golf. Thokozile, if you had to pick one word or theme that will capture the spirit of this year's conference, what would it be?
Look, beyond the actual theme, the baobab advantage, what comes to mind is the word momentum. And
momentum will be happy.
I'm sure they would. So the AIE experience is both about building personal and organizational momentum.
Yeah.
The baobab tree also teaches us about resilience, about the rootedness of growth. So similarly, our industry is standing still, but we move, evolve continuously to stay ahead. Yeah. The energy will be felt by everybody, every single person that will be attending the conference conversations. So momentum it is.
I love it. In your view, what are the most important conversations the industry needs to be having right now? And how is AIE helping to open up that conversations?
You know, we cannot talk enough about the digital transformation. So it's one of them. And there are many legs to digital transformation. Yes, there is us making sure we've got systems that are relevant, that are customer-centric, the CRM, the interaction with the customer but there's also the use of generative AI that we gotta take advantage of. And we can't do that blindly. We gotta get the right training on how to utilize generative AI. We got to spend time in upskilling ourselves. There is so much ease that it brings in taking advantage of that. So that's one of the things. The other element linked to the impact of taking advantage of AI or of technology in general comes to talent. So the other key element is then the skilling and the reskilling, repositioning the skills we have, the skills we had, the critical skills that used to be then have now changed. And with AI having come to the fore and all the different tools that are available from a technology perspective, it has become important that we nurture the talents we have. And lastly is the leadership for future. Leadership has also had to change. The way we've been leading, the teams we now have are different from the teams we've had. The generation of teams we now have is younger. Their needs are different, and we are seeing it as well, Rianette, on the demographics of the conference delegates.
Okay.
It's younger. The lovely part of it, though, younger and still senior.
Yeah.
So it's the younger people, but holding senior positions, meaning there's a pipeline coming up. And as leaders that have been in the industry for a long time, and maybe we are set on a particular way of leadership, there's a new way of leading we have to learn. And of course, COVID has put a different approach onto how we lead. So those are the key things for me. It's digital transformation, it's talent, nurturing, development, retention. It's the leadership and leadership for the future, a future fit leader that moves with the changes that are happening around us. So AIE will bring to the fore through those provocative panel discussions, those curated conversations, it will bring that to the fore on the critical needs for the industry and in taking the industry forward. So there's that blend you will see as well in the program. We've intentionally built it into each and every other topic that is going to be discussed at conference.
I love it. I love it. And the leadership and the senior young professionals is, as you know, something close to my heart. So it's very exciting to hear what you are saying. Talking about digital, what areas of innovation or change excite you most when you look at where the industry is heading?
So I'm an interesting human being. I love the touch, the human feel. I love the touch and feel, but I also like to take advantage of technology. So I'm excited about what technology is bringing to the industry. I'm excited about how we can maximize the use of data that the industry has and bring it into decision making, into the conversations we have with customers, and understanding customers and almost working towards personalizing the services or customizing the products. So I'm excited about what technology will bring to the industry. It's also about how are we then going to lead with technology supporting us, right? So for me, I'm very much excited about what technology brings. It was exciting. I mean, we had a masterclass last year at IISA on the generative use of AI. And it was amazing how you could utilize my voice and I become a model.
I know.
Or I could create a model, my own model that can represent me. It's just amazing. So those are the exciting times that we really have to embrace with the challenges that it comes with. But that's what we need to embrace. The use of technology, let's maximize it. Let's take advantage of it. Let's take the industry to another level, making use of technology.
Yeah, I love that. What do you hope, back to the AIE conference, Thokozile, that people sitting there at the conference will think or feel when they pause and reflect on what's happening around them?
My wish and desire is that everyone that will be attending conference will feel that they're part of something bigger than themselves, that they're not just attending yet another conference, but they're stepping into a movement, they're stepping into an experience that transforms knowledge, that changes the thinking that one had, a place where the present will meet the future, where the next new idea, the next partner, the next business opportunity, the next big idea that one has could be sitting right next to you. So that's what I hope for. That collaboration, that relationship, that's what I hope for. If I could ask anyone, sit next to somebody you've never met and crack that next big thing that you have within yourself. That's my wish.
Oh, that is awesome. I am so ready for conference, Thokozile. If you could whisper one message into every attendee's ear as they walk through the doors on that first day, what would that be?
It would be, this is your moment. Be present, be bold, and build something that matters.
Thank you for a lovely conversation. I am now more excited than ever for this conference coming up and planning to really take in what you've said and embrace that. So thank you for your time, and then good luck with this last stretch. See you at conference.
Thank you. Thank you for the chat, Rianette. I do hope that those that have not registered, they do so after reading the article and listening to this conversation. Thank you so much for your time. Much appreciated.
It's a pleasure. Bye.
Thank you.